Hey everybody, this is Marty from House Garage Art. Thanks for checking out this YouTube on the Pochade, Guerrilla Pochade Painter's Box. This is the smallish box, not the cigar box, but the one up from that. I guess you could call it about a 13-inch by about 6-inch box. It's probably about 10 inches, maybe a foot deep, I guess. It's the kind of intermediate one. It holds a 9 by 12 canvas and can hold a couple of canvases in those slots there, as you can see. Anyway, I've had this box for about 9 months. I did a review in early spring, and I wanted to revisit this box because I've gotten some emails and text messages and tweets from people who said, hey, how'd that box work out, or is it still working out pretty good? A couple of things I want to say right off the bat. Money well spent. The box has been durable. It's held up well. The aluminum substrate here on the hinging is excellent. I've had the box open and closed hundreds of times, and there doesn't seem to be any diminishing performance as far as that goes. It also, I found out some interesting things about this box that it does pretty well. For instance, I can hang off my Newton brush washer right from this built-in hanger right here that you're supposed to run a cord and have your paper towels on, but I never do that actually. I just hang this on there and it's pretty handy. It can rock and roll pretty good and move around. It's not like I'm doing a lot of that, but if I bump it or whatever, I'm going to have to worry about my turpentine from the brush washer go flying. And again, and I'll get to this in a minute, but I did break down and purchase one accessory, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But I wanted to talk about one thing I mentioned in the spring video when I bought this box new, was I tried to give folks a tip on not having to go and buy the very, very expensive tripod that's sold by Guerrilla Painter. I think it's somewhere in excess of $200. This is a tripod that you can get at any camera store or even a Walmart if you want a little lesser quality one, or even thrift stores I find occasionally have these tripods. They're camera tripod, and it's basically got a universal connector end and this little piece that you mount to the box. And I'm going to take this off, and hang on a second while I move the brush washer, and I'm going to try to remove this. I'm going to try to one-hand this because I am operating the camera with the other hand. There's a little flip switch here on the camera, on the mating camera piece, and you can remove the box, and you can see there's this little piece there, this square piece. It's like $5, $6, and it fastens into this aluminum plate that comes with the box. And so then you just connect it there. It's got a screw there, and you just connect it right up, and then you can insert it here, pull that switch back, you can see or not, and then lock it in, and it's all set to go. You know, it won't go anywhere. It's pretty stable. And then you can adjust the box, how it's sitting with the different adjustments on the camera tripod. Hopefully you've got a decent one, and you can even change the elevation if you've got for instance, a camera that has this adjustment, a camera tripod that has this adjustment on it. I tend to leave it flat. But the other thing about this box that I think is really cool is the amount of stuff you can pack into it. I mean, I've got a ton of paint and brushes and everything else in this box, including a palette knife and some other equipment. I just really pack it in. It's got basically everything I need with the exception of the brush washer, some paper towels, and maybe some longer brushes that I can't fit in this part, or I don't want to bend the bristles on to make them fit. And so other than that, though, really great. So some of the things I've got in here, of course, many different varieties of brushes, my palette knife, a bunch of different kinds of oil paints, and then I've got this, not just for chasing off art thieves, but which of course is a joke, but for cleaning off your palette. I use this when my paint dries. I can scrape off my palette a little bit, and if there's any chunks on there, I can get rid of them pretty quickly with this little razor knife. If you're going to go out and buy one of these at your local hardware store, make sure you get a metal one and not the plastic one. The plastic ones are cheap and they don't hold up. These metal ones are great. I think I picked this up for $2 or something like that, so a pretty good deal. And like I said, just tons of stuff you can pack in here. So here's one thing I wanted to show you, is the modification I made to the box itself. So GuerrillaPainters.com sells a bunch of different accessories that you can buy. One of them is a paintbrush holder that you can hang off the side. It's got a clip on it and these holes in it, and I don't know how much they sell it for. I haven't looked in a while, but it's kind of expensive. Instead, what I did was I was willing to sacrifice opening my drawer up a little bit and drilling some holes in here so that I could fit some brushes right into these holes. And I think this is going to be great if you're a right-handed painter, because they're not in your way. But if you're a left-handed painter, you may find that this doesn't work as well for you. I don't know. I haven't tried it because I'm not a left-handed painter, but I'm imagining you might have some difficulties. But okay, so I just drilled some holes in it and I close it like that, and you can see I've got this slight gap over here, but I'm really concentrating when I'm painting in this palette area here, so I'm not having a lot of spillage or whatever in there. Any paint you see in there is probably because I stuck a wet brush in there. But so if I take a brush here, and you can see on my canvas I can paint just fine, and this, I'm not hitting this area, this doesn't bother me. But I guess if I were a left-handed painter, these brushes may interfere with my work. So if you're a left-handed painter, it may not work for you, but it worked great for me. And again, I just drilled some different hole sizes here, and it's best to go you know, big to small, I guess, if you like that, because then if you've got the taller brushes, obviously they'd sit up higher in the hole than your smaller brushes. But either way, whatever you want to do, that's just one modification I made to the box that seemed to work out pretty well for me. So I'm going to remove these brushes here and then talk a little bit about a couple other things that I wanted to visit on this box. In particular, the accessories I bought, which are pretty neat. And then I do want to talk about one picky flaw I have with the design of the box in a minute. But first I'll remove one of these canvases and show you that, you know, if you're a painter who doesn't mind 9x12s constantly, this works out pretty well, because you can always paint on 9x12. What happens if you want to go a little smaller or a little bigger? Well, to get smaller, there's this accessory you can buy from Guerrilla Painters, and it seemed to me less expensive to buy it from them than try to make it myself. But this little accessory, and it's a tight fit, but it drops right in here, and now you can paint on a 6x8, okay, or you can drop in an 8x10, just like that. And then the other accessory to get a bigger canvas on comes with the box when you buy it from the factory, and that is this piece here. And if you've seen their videos, you can basically, and I'm going to set the camera down and try this, you basically string this it's hard to see, but you basically string this rubber bungee around the box and attach it to each end of the canvas, and I don't have a big canvas to show you, and then it holds it, it pins it against the box, and you can actually put a bigger canvas on this box. So I haven't tried going too big on this. I think 11x14 or something like that. That is the biggest I've gone, and that's worked out pretty well for me. So that's the one accessory. The one small complaint I do have is that it's kind of tight, and I don't know if these it's because these brackets are real close together or what, or the wood is a little bit wide, but I need to find myself wanting to shave off some of this, some of the wood on one end of this, because it's awfully hard to get this thing in and out. It's just a tight fit. You can see it. It's got some scratches along the side already, and I don't know if it's the wood or the bracket, but whatever it is, it's a tight fit. So once it's in there good. So I'm going to remove that now and set that aside. Yeah, so that was one of the things I bought. Now here's what I was going to tell you about, was the one kind of design flaw I have. If you'll notice, in each bottom of this box there are these rubber stops, and I talked about how handy these were when I did the original video back in March. These are great because you can set it on a tabletop and it's very stable. Well, mine, I was trying to get it into a real tight area and it broke off, and you can see right there that one of my rubber stops like this broke off right at this point. It's kind of left this kind of sharp, pointy aluminum piece there, and when you go to replace it, I figured, well, I'll just probably be able to get a screw, pick up a screw, replace it. Lo and behold, I found that they've riveted these in, so there's really no easy way to replace this other than to maybe drill a hole next to this, possibly, and use some kind of screw and nut or nut and bolt kind of combination to get that in. I haven't quite figured out how I'm going to do that yet, but again, just a small complaint, not a big one, but kind of a design flaw for, so what if it breaks? Well, you're not going to be able to replace it very easily. Overall, though, the box is great. Like I said, a good investment at $150, minus the one design flaw. This box from GuerrillaPainter.com has been great, and I haven't had any troubles with it. It's performed well and done just great in the field, and like I said, it holds just tons of stuff. Very, like it's compact, lightweight, and so the mobility factor is great for this box. So that's it for now, and don't forget to leave a comment or a question if you have any about this particular item. And I'll be posting reviews in the future for this, just kind of an update on this as we go along in time to see how it's held up and performed. Thanks. This is Marty from House Garage Art saying so long and Happy New Year.